Losing my son Jack was the most difficult thing that I've ever experienced. Losing a child is like no other loss. And in the 9 years since losing him, I have learned some pretty valuable lessons that I wanted to share with you. And these became the cornerstone of my grief and mourning and working through something that was just so inconceivable. So, number one, I learned that love never dies. Just because Jack is not here in physical doesn't mean I can't experience him, that we're always connected and he's always with me, that we will always have that connection. That love never dies. It's there whether you've lost a child or a loved one, a fur baby, that love never dies. Number two, I still get triggered after all this time. I still get triggered. I call them pockets of grief. And, I was out at the playground a couple of months ago and there was a little boy that looks like my son. And I got emotional and I got triggered. And so I sat with it for a little bit and I was just extra tender with my heart that day while I worked through that. So no matter how long ago your loss was, whether it was a child or a loved one, you can still get triggered. Number three, heartache and joy can coexist. There were days when I just didn't want to go on living. And those days were intermixed with happiness and joy. And so I learned that the two can coexist as I learned to live without Jack here in the physical. Number four, I'm not the same person I was before I lost Jack. Yeah, it's changed me. I have a greater capacity for love. I get to help other parents who have lost children to make those connections with their child in spirit. I'm not the same person I was. I think I'm a more resilient, more powerful person, a more centered, loving version of me, my authentic self. And five, suffering is a choice. There's one of my teachers that told me that. She said, suffering is a choice. That doesn't negate the loss, that doesn't push it aside, but suffering is a choice. What if you start each day asking, how can I bring joy into my life today? How can I bring happiness into my life today? How can I choose something different? And for me, it was choosing to love and choosing to figure out a way to have Jack in my world so I can share his essence with you. Yeah. So if you've lost a child, lost a loved one, and if there is something that's helped you to get through that, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And I'm sending you all of my love.